Today we're looking at the asparagus patch. We need to clean this mess up, and in just 1 hour we're going to turn it from looking like this into a very productive asparagus that looks just like this. And I'll show you how. And I also have some new asparagus that I'm going to plant. And what I did was I just took asparagus seeds earlier this year and sowed them down in this bucket. And now you see I've got a nice crop of asparagus roots in there. So I'm going to take those out and I'm going to show you how to plant those. Okay folks, so there's two different ways that we can clean this mess out. And the first one is we can get our hand clippers and we can come down here and we can clip them off one at a time. You want to be sure that you don't go into the ground though. You get them right above the ground. Leave a little stub there, about half an inch or an inch. Anyway, and then throw it into the wheelbarrow. We're going to cart those off and compost them. Or you can do it the way I like to do it. So I sped this up and it only took about 5 minutes and I had the entire patch trimmed and ready for raking. And this is the way to do it. In my opinion, it's so much quicker and easier than individually cutting several hundred stems by hand. So now we've got all the old growth trimmed. We want to rake it up real good, clean it out, pull any weeds that might be there. And there's another step. We're going to go ahead and plow around the entire patch. And then we're going to get ready to plant some more out of that bucket I just showed you. So now I have marked all 4 corners of the asparagus patch. And I'm going to plow around it, and then I'm going to use a part of it and plant the new asparagus plant. And I'll show you that after I get through plowing. You can see what a mass of roots that I have gotten just by planting these in the spring, letting them sit in this bucket all summer. I'm trying not to break them, but you don't have to be that careful with them because you're not going to eat these next year anyway. Sometimes it's easier to plant them and then cut the tops off. I think that's what I'm going to do here. There we go. And I won't bother y'all with the rest of this, but I'm going to go ahead and plant the rest of these down these 2 rows, and I'll be right back. Okay, so finally this is how they look, all planted into the new ground. Remember, I planted all these from seeds. And actually, I've got one I forgot to plant. Let's get that one down there and I'll plant it in just a second. But anyway, this is how they look. And they will do fine just like this. I've got to water them and put on some cow manure. And I'll do that in just a little bit. I've still got that bunch of roots that I got from my brother-in-law that I've got to separate and put on, and we'll do that next. So now that I've got it all planted, what I'm going to do is cut it off right above the ground line with scissors. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my last batch, which my brother-in-law gave me. This batch from his patch of asparagus, because it's just too thick. And so what he did was he went out and just dug up an area, and let's take a look at this and see how it looks. So I'm going to plant this going down this row in front of us here. So let's take a look. And you can see that this has just turned into a solid root mass of asparagus. And the only way to plant this is basically just to rip it apart and just plant some of the chunks down that line. So let's do that. So I'm going to plant this as one plant, even though it's more than one. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Since this is already so formed, it might actually be ready to pick in just one extra year instead of the normal 3 years for the kind that you start from seeds or bare roots. So let me go ahead and finish this. Okay, so they're all planted now. So what I'm going to do is move my markers back so that I can make sure that I remember where the corners of this patch are. So when I bring my rototiller out here next spring. So the next step in this process is going to be to spread some black cow manure over the entire asparagus patch, new and old. Then that'll be all I need to do to fertilize it for the entire winter, and then next spring just come out here and harvest. So I've got 2.5 bags that I'm gonna go ahead and spread. And then the final step in this process is going to be to mulch it. And I've got a wheelbarrow full of pine straw here that I'm just going to go ahead and spread out over the entire patch. And there we have it, folks. We've got the new plants planted, and we've got the old plants worked and covered up. Got some manure spread for fertilizer and protection from the cold this winter. And all we'll have to do now is come out in the spring, in the middle of March, and start picking this. Nothing easier to grow than asparagus. And if you folks enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next video.